your fists up. Tip cups to the ceiling if you're sick and feeling ripped off. I let my fist off, get lit and lift off. Raise your hand with me and you pissed off. I'm standing on the corner of 6th Street. I'm running out of time for this week. My head's pounding, stomach shaking. It's worth it, the hunger makes it.
Yeah, that is right. So this was a hard choice to make. I had to pick 5 Game Boy Advance games that really meant a lot to me and that were really, really awesome and that I had a lot of fun with and really enjoyed. The games that I sunk the most time into, the games that I actually spent the most effort in going through and whatnot, and that I really loved. And the other thing it came down to with this list, the only other 2 games that would have kind of hit on this were Monster Rancher Advance and Link to the Past for the Game Boy Advance. So I had to make a decision because Link to the Past was a remake and it wasn't a new, unique game. I decided to say, you know what, let's not go with that one. Even though I did spend so many hours on that. And then it came to Monster Rancher Advance versus this one, and I had to make the decision that overall I had a more satisfying experience from Sonic Advance than I did Monster Rancher Advance. Something I loved about it right out of the gate, you can play as multiple characters. There's other unlockables as well. This was something I was used to right at the gate with the other one. And then there was this bonus of this was the first time since the Game Gear that I was playing Sonic handheld, and it was gorgeous. It was it looked so good, and like it felt so good too. Like this felt like a Sonic game. All the bells and whistles, everything that you expect out of it. The fast running, but it also came with the shoe grinding, or the rail grinding that we got in, like I say, the GameCube game, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Whoop, shadow spot. You can do it. There we go. Yeah, and this is what I mean. It's like all the fun of a Sonic game, just like in the palm of your hand. But it'll be shenanigan-y. Whoa, it's the fucking hammer. Consequences. Oh, consequences. There we go. Get my shit back. Get my shit back. Is the Dragon Ball Z Legacy of Goku? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the title is. Yeah, that's this was a game that I just couldn't believe I even found on the shelf. I remember being a kid in Walmart, and sure enough, it's taking me through this, and like, bam, here I am. I'm on the island, and I have Kai blasts. I can throw fists and punches, and it's crazy. I can fly. Look at me. I can talk to Master Roshi. I look stronger than last time. There's Raditz. Yeah, so it literally, I mean, like every Dragon Ball Z game, it's taking you through the entirety of Dragon Ball Z, which is the thing that happens, right? Like, you know, the appearance of Raditz and everything. Yeah, this one takes you all the way through Frieza Saga, or Namek, I guess. But yeah, it was just so much fun. And this was, again, an example of a different kind of action RPG. This was almost, for me, like Legend of Zelda meets Dragon Ball Z, which was cool. Except it also had RPG elements, too. Fire Emblem for the Game Boy Advance. This is a game, probably the last game that I got for the Game Boy Advance. This was not to say that it didn't come out sooner. It was just discovered very late in my series for it. I honestly, I got this long after I had hung it up. Like, I think I got this when I came back to the Game Boy Advance after college. When I decided, you know what, it was okay to play Game Boy when you were an adult. Yeah, and this was the first Fire Emblem title to officially come to North American shores, as I mentioned in the video last month that celebrated its active coming soon. Yeah, it just had so much story. I had never seen a game like this, especially that used this sort of style, these freeze-frame cut frames that then gave you all this reading that you did. Very, very interesting, very different for me. I think the only inclination I had had of this franchise prior to this was Super Smash Bros. Melee with Roy and Marth. That was the first time I had heard of Fire Emblem, and that's what drew me to this game. Yeah, well, kind of turn-based, but yeah, like this board game chess style of video gameplay. It was really, really cool. And not only that, it was almost like video chess back in the day, because you had these animations of them fighting each other and like attacking. Yeah, and this was the other thing that drew me to it. It had these wicked animations. Like, I know I had mentioned in Mega Man Battle Network that how good the arts were and the graphics were and just like how visually stunning it was. But this was something I hadn't seen before on the Game Boy Advance. It looks so cool. And again, like I say, I discovered this later in my life for the Game Boy Advance games. I didn't start playing this probably until my 20s or so. Yeah, just overall, it's a satisfying game. Like, it's just, it moves quickly. Like, nothing really feels super drawn out. It is Pokemon Ruby. This was the first game that I ever had for the Game Boy Advance. Let's be honest, as I went through handheld consoles, so originally I got the original Game Boy. That was what I had back in those days. I know we had a Nintendo before that, and then because we did long car rides to visit my grandmother, it was like 6-7 hours in the car, so my parents decided, well, they would invest and they would get us Game Boys. So that we could play video games in the car on the way. It was very cool. 1996 rolls around and there's Pokemon. And this becomes the Game Boy game and the franchise that I sink the most hours to possible. Incalculable. I couldn't tell you how many hours I have spent on Pokemon games in my entire life. And so when the Game Boy Advance was announced, I saved up my money. I bought a Game Boy Advance. The only one I could get was a pink one. It was the translucent fuchsia, or pink. Yeah, it was definitely pink. This was the game that I got alongside it. I remember after playing Silver, I liked the game, but I remember it feeling, I don't want to say easy, but when I played through Pokemon Red, by the time I had beaten the Elite Four and gone through that entire process and made my way through the cave, I was level 70s. All of my Pokemon, when I faced Mewtwo, my guys were all like high level 60s and level 70s. So I felt like a crusher, like a destroyer in that game. And then I went and I played Pokemon Silver, and I get through the Elite Four, and I get through that entire first playthrough in that process. And by the time I go through and beat all of the gym leaders, and I mean Kanto as well, my Pokemon were only like level 60s. And it just felt a little bit strange, and I was just like, well, what happened here? Why did the games feel so quick? And like even going all the way through Kanto as well. It just didn't feel like I had to do less grinding. That was nice, but it felt like my Pokemon were less accomplished. It sucked because it didn't feel like I could pit my new team against my old team and have it be a fair fight. So that felt a little bit odd. And then this game came out, and I was like, okay, well, we'll see. I'm dedicated here. Yeah, and this one felt appropriately difficult. I had to do some grinding in it, and by the time I got through the Elite Four, I was, again, 70s. Or by the time I got through all the way through the game, I was like level 70s and high 60s. So it felt right. And again, it was just such an updated version of everything I loved. Like, the graphics look great and everything, and they added some new mechanics in this were honestly pretty cool, too. I also love the story in this one. Like, your dad... It's one of the few RPGs where your dad isn't missing. Your dad's actually a gym leader in this game. I thought that was a really cool story element. Like I say, character and Pokemon design were great. It was a nice modern feel to it. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up for Pokemon Ruby for me. Like, it was just, again, it was for me when I had those like few little disappointments with Pokemon Silver. This game just blew all those out of the water. It was fantastic. It was the next great addition to the Pokemon franchise, Mega Man Battle Network. If you were not familiar with this franchise, that's a shame, because this was a great game. It just had wonderful, wonderful elements put into it. Lan, wake up! This was an entirely different take on things. So in this world, rather than Dr. Wily creating evil robots, he starts... well, actually, in general, rather than robots becoming the main aspect of this world, what happens is Dr. Light and Dr. Wily create computer programs, or artificial intelligent computer programs, more specifically, AIs. Rather than building AI robots, these are just computer programs that help improve our lives in general, way to describe it. Yeah, so whenever you have an encounter in this game, whether you're in a fight, you go into the sort of grid map, and at the start of it, you select your chip, battle chips. Again, if you are a fan of Digimon in the Battle Tamer series, this is probably sounding kind of familiar. I'm just going to take it down quickly, and then I can also use A to use my special chip. Bam. Done and done. Could have done that faster, just kind of show you guys a little bit. Yeah, that's our basic controls, and yeah, so that's the basics of it. This was, in all honesty, to me, a really great looking RPG, too. Like, just the attention to detail and the graphics. You know, this 2.5D shift to it was really awesome as well. Not only do you get to play as Lan in the open world, you also get to open world explore the internet as well. Again, been a little while. But yeah, I just remember this is one of those games that just grabbed me right from the beginning. Like, this is the story, and this is so awesome, and it pulls you into this cool digital world. And again, maybe because this would have been the early 2000s, this was when the internet was really taking off, and like starting to become this cool thing. And again, I was coming off of watching Reboot as a kid too, right? So this was super awesome. Yeah, I remember this being different too from what I was used to, because I was used to turn-based RPGs, not these action ones too. But again, just so much fun. Yeah, I don't know. It was a new way to capture Mega Man for me, and it was so wonderful. Like, it just worked on every level. Oh crap! Oh, dude. Right, this is also, that's another thing I liked about this game. I felt like it was really using the capabilities of the Game Boy Advance. You know, this was holding a Super Nintendo in your hands. It was pretty freaking cool. Like... Oh, come on, one more hit. There we go. Woohoo! Yeah. And this is what I mean, like, the battles, especially when you get to boss battles, are really intense. They're a lot of fun, very action-packed. Plus, you get this great story about the W3 trying to take over the world via the internet. You've got your best digital friend, who's this warrior with, like, guns and swords and stuff. It's such a cool story arc. It just was so revolutionary for the franchise in such a different direction. I would like to do some honorable mentions. There is Monster Rancher Advance, which I talked a little bit about before. It is a great addition to the Monster Rancher franchise. It does what it can without being able to take advantage of the greatest gimmick of the franchise. With still being fun. Again, it puts one of your favorite franchises in the palm of your hands, like I say, which is what the GBA did. Monster Rancher Advance Iridian 3D was, again, the second game that I bought for the Game Boy Advance. And that was the closest thing that there was to Star Fox at the time. This kind of rail shooter that you could get upgraded lasers and weapons, and you navigate through the levels. It was so much fun, just such a great game, and just so enjoyable. So I have to say, like, I just never really played. I wasn't good at it, unfortunately. I wasn't as good at it as I was at Star Fox, so I didn't really get that far. And just didn't have as engaging a story. But it was a really great game as well. And then the other game was, Metabots. Metabots Rokusho version, specifically, is the other game that I'm going to give an honorable mention to. Again, a very Pokemon-esque like game, with a kind of a different battle style, kind of more along the lines of, I think, Digimon World 2-ish, more. I might be mistaken on that, don't quote me. But yeah, it was so much fun. You could equip your Metabots, very similar to the TV show. You could equip them appropriately for the terrain you were fighting on, so you could, bipedal leg parts were smart for some things, but wheels were better for other terrain, or air parts were better for other terrain for your legs. And it was so many combinations, so well put together, and I enjoyed the game so much. And again, that was a game I didn't discover until my late 20s, actually, very later in the series. So, big props to that one. And yeah, when I specify Rokusho version, I just liked the game. I found it smoother to play through, mostly because of the radar effect. But yeah.
Be sure to check out the Is That All podcast for all of your geek news. You can find us anywhere you can stream and download podcasts, and find us on social media at Is That All Pod.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me grow and lets me know that you guys like the content that I'm putting out there. Be sure to check out more videos, especially more console capers. Also, you can find me everywhere at Beefy Thiefy.